if you are still struggling with the slip knot, which is what you wanted to use to start crochet with, a slip knot is called a slip knot because you're going to slip right out. It's adjustable, so that way you're not tying a full knot. When you go to insert your hook, you can adjust it, make it bigger, make it smaller. I will have in the comments a downloaded a file you can download and print with a little diagram that will help you kind of line it up. So my other video I showed you 3 ways you can do it. This is going to be a third way you can do it, or a 4th way you can do it. It's going to be a little bit different. So in the file you'll have my wonderfully hand-drawn version like this. So the first step you're going to do is you're going to pre-fold on the dotted line, because if you fold later on, it's going to make a mess. Just makes your step later on so much easier if you pre-fold. Then you're going to have your ball of yarn come off this way, which means your end of your yarn is going to go up. So your first step was pre-fold. Your second step is to have your yarn coming up this way. For your ball of yarn off down here, it's going to come up and around. So our third step, our fourth step brings it down and around here. So it goes over into our fifth step, where our yarn comes off here. There's our end. Sixth step is over here. Thumbs in place. So left thumb's going to go on this dot, right thumb's going to go on this dot. And you're going to fold it towards you. Now, you're not going to be able to read these other directions because it's going to get folded. So when you fold it towards you, you're going to bring it on the fold. That's why you had to have the pre-fold. If you didn't have the pre-fold, you're not going to be able to fold it because your thumbs are kind of busy. And I don't know about you, but I couldn't manage folding when my thumbs are busy. I'm not that skilled. You have to like get your toes out and try to work some magic. So you're going to fold it to you. Then step 7 is you're going to let go of your right thumb, which will drop the yarn onto the table or whatever surface you're using it is, and unfold it. Your right thumb is still going to stay on that dot, or your left thumb is going to stay on that dot, and your right thumb is going to go to step 8, and at that point you can read your steps again. So we're at step 6. Put my yarn back on its little train track path. It's not exactly important that it's in the right spots, but I'm going to fold it to me. Step is let go this side. The other side stays. This did not fold exactly, but that's okay. So we can try it again. Works much better when I'm not trying to work on a camera. So when you do it, your thumbs are there. You fold it over, drops, and then the yarn falls over. See, it's shifting. When you do this, when you're not messing with the camera and got things in front of you, it shifts like this. Your thumb's up here. So you let go of your right thumb and you unfold. Number 8, your right hand grabs a yarn by number 2. So this is our number 2 yarn right here. And you pull. So you see how there's this loop here? You can grab this yarn and you pull. You have not let go of your left thumb yet. And you pull. Gotta pull this down just so you can see it on camera. Otherwise we would be off camera. But normally you stay over here, and then there's your slip knot. And then you can let go. If I did this off camera, my thumb would be here and would pull off over here, but it would have stayed in place. Now this obviously gives you a super long tail. But that's okay. Because most likely, if you're struggling with doing a slip knot, you might be struggling when you go to weave in your tails, and so a longer tail will be easier for you to deal with. But if you want to know that you did it right, you should be able to pull on both sides, and it just slips away. That's a slip knot. So again, we make sure our pre-fold, once you've done it once, it's already pre-folded, so you don't need to do it again. We draw our line up and around our train tracks to get our loop. Put our thumbs and our thumbs, bring our yarn up, drop it down, and it will normally fall into here, but I'm hitting a stack of stuff that I've got the camera on. So it'll fall like this, and I let go, but that's okay. The main reason is just you don't want the tail to get pulled, because if you're doing this, the tail is just going to move, and it's not going to work. It's hard to tell, but it's not going to work. And you pull. And then you can use this to tighten it. But if you pull too hard and tighten, you're obviously going to lose your slip knot. You can stick your hook. Where's my hook? My hook in and tighten it. And I got a long tail, which is fine. You can start your chain off and go. Then when you come back around your rows, you can chain over your tail if you want. You can weave your tail in. You can cut off some length of your tail. Whatever your preference is. It's always better to have a longer, too long of a tail than too short of a tail when you go to weave your ends in, because then it just makes weaving your ends in so much more difficult. But this will be available in the comments or the description to download if you need it. Or it's just another way to do it, because if you don't want that, you could just draw your yarn up, make a loop. Let's get the other loops out of the way. Oopsie. I'm hitting the boxes as it's on. Take your loop, flip it over, and you're pulling up. So you don't necessarily need this paper, but if you're struggling, the paper can help. The tutorials in the other video didn't help. It's just another way. See, I've got an extra slip knot over there somehow. It's just another way to make making slip knots easier. Personally, I find the monster one. Remember our monster? We wrap his mouth up. We drop him down because he's hungry and he's going to eat the yarn in. There's our slip knot. There we go. When I think about it, I get too long of a tail. I typically only do a small tail. That's the length of the stable I typically do. I'll stick my hook in. Oops. And I slipped it too tight. That's okay. And then I'll just crochet.